I'd give it like a 75% chance of Neymar moving to the MLS when his contract runs out. So the boy Mar wants to take his talents not to South Beach, but to America. America, yeah. And you know what? It makes sense. It actually does make sense because you see, my thing is, and it makes so much sense after seeing the Neymar documentary on Netflix, and I think that he's very aware of his brand, and specifically his father has worked really hard to make your to market his kid. He wants his kid to be marketed and so forth because he wants a life outside of football. America is the hub and the home of marketing. So before I really give my thoughts on this, let's just read. Let's have a little reading, shall we? Let's have a little reading. So, Paris Saint-Germain star Neymar said Monday that he would like to come to the US and play in the MLS one day. During a podcast appearance, Neymar suggested that while a return to play in his native Brazil may not be on the cards, a move to the US could be. So it says, I don't know. I have some doubts about that. I don't know if I'll play in Brazil again. I'd love to play in the US. Actually, I'd love to play there for at least a season. Neymar expanded on his desire to play in the US by saying that since the MLS season is shorter than the European season, he would get, now this is, I want to talk about this also, 3 months vacation. 3 months vacation. That's very key. Neymar likes to party. Neymar also said jokingly that the schedule would allow him to play many more years. So the 30-year-old Neymar is on a contract with PSG until June 2025, meaning he'll be 33 when he becomes a free agent again. Another key point. So yeah, okay. So really, that was really the main point. So I think the first point I want to look at here is how 3 months vacation and how it's shorter than the other seasons. Because I think, look, that I think is a key attraction. Because I wouldn't really get why to why for Neymar in Neymar's sense, in the football sense that he would definitely want to move there. I think short of a vacation, it is less strenuous because really the European schedule gets more and more demanding. Like you have places like in England, because France scrapped their extra trophy. But in England, if let's say you get to 4 finals, you could easily be playing up to 50, nearly even 60 games. So it is extremely strenuous, the amount of games that are required from you in the European competition. So for Neymar, if you want to, and if, as I said, like, he feels he can play many more years, bro. The US of A, the Trump country now, Biden country, the Obama hope for change. That's where it is. My Miss American Pie is where Neymar can go if he. Because remember, he's a guy that gets loads and loads of injuries, and maybe this and if you're a guy that is susceptible to a lot of injuries, playing so many games, especially high profile games, especially high demanding games, is what it is. Another point that he says here is, so yeah, he'll be 33 when he becomes a free agent. So I think, how old was he? Ibra, was in his late 30s when he went to LA Galaxy. I think he was like 37, 38, but it was definitely in his late 30s when he went to LA Galaxy. Benzema, I think, is around 33 now. Lewandowski is around the area now. And I have already said many times, and I'll still say it now, that Benzema is the best football player on the planet. And he would be around the age Neymar will be when Neymar is a free agent, and he possibly will be thinking of going into the MLS. And thus comes to the crux of the matter here. We have to speak in facts. The MLS is just like going to China or going to Qatar. That is a retirement home. It's no slight or insult or abuse towards the MLS and so forth, but these are just the facts of life. You go to the MLS, you are effectively retiring yourself, which is why I was surprised that Ibrahimovic went to the MLS and then he then came back to Europe in the Serie. But then that's another discussion for another day with regards to the Serie. But if Neymar at 33 years of age moves to the MLS and America, Because you see, 33 back in the 90s, in the 80s, in the early 2000s is not the same as 33 in 2022, specifically 33 in 2025. Players have better dieting, better nutrition. They're not drinking. They're not as unhealthy as guys were before. And as we have said again, Benzema at 33, 34, however old he's right now, is amongst the best players in the world. He's amongst the best players in the world. Benzema is 34. Benzema is 34 years of age. He's 34 years of age. So, um, and that would be because again, if it does happen, who knows what will happen? But if I was to give a percentage, I'd give it like a 75% chance of Neymar moving to the MLS when his contract runs out. I would, because looking at his character and his personality, I would, because he isn't what a Cristiano is. Because I know that's Cristiano. Because, bro, I'm sure there was an opportunity for Cristiano to go to the MLS. I'm sure, bro, teams would have been tripping over themselves to get Cristiano because of just the kind of marketing behemoth that he brings. So guys will be tripping over themselves, but Cristiano would be like, no, no, no way. I cannot embarrass myself of ever stepping foot in the MLS, even if though I know I would make loads of money. I get it. I know what you guys are saying in the comments below. There's a whole court case and everything in America. I get it. I understand. So maybe that was a hodl. I don't know. But I think even if that wasn't an issue, I still don't think he goes to MLS. But see, Neymar, I just feel that I don't feel he's fully invested in this PSG thing. Hence why, as we saw in the documentary, homeboy wanted to go back to um Barcelona. He's not investing in the PSG. He's he has half given up on football in the competitive sense. The only thing I think that he has true hunger, is the World Cup with Brazil. Of course, he's going to try and do his best for PSG and so forth in a natural sense. But I think his true desire is for this jersey here, to say what's up for this jersey here. So, but for me, MLS, it makes total sense. And I'm sure Neymar Senior, his father, who runs the brand, will be like, "Oh yeah, this makes complete and total sense," because he's already been in a Hollywood movie, a Triple X with Vin Diesel. I actually like that movie, Guilty Pleasure. Um, Neymar's style, his character, how exuberant and how much of an extrovert he is, he'll like it. So Raphael, so he would love, especially if let's say it's either Inter Miami or LA Galaxy, boom. And once he goes there, bro, he'll have all the fun in the world. He will have all the fun in the world. He won't have the kind of physicality or the guys trying to hack him down the way that they do in Uber Eats. So the fact that Ibra went there and did what he did at his age, if Neymar was to move to the MLS at 33 years of age, he would destroy that league. He would destroy the league and have all the fun in the world. Does Neymar care that people would view him as a quitter, as a guy who has lacked the desire, and even more painful, because people keep comparing him to Homeboy there, and I find that very insulting because this guy here, I don't know. Please don't mess with this guy here. This guy's very special. But my thing is, would Neymar care if he moved to MLS, 33 years of age, which is still prime in this day of football? Will he care that people will view him as a quitter? You quit. You were supposed to take over the mantle from Messi. You were supposed to be the best player in the world right now. You were supposed to bring back that Joker Poponito that's Ronaldinho left with. You're supposed to be the shining light of football, a new status quo of footballer, especially when we've been yearning for a kind of footballer like you in the ilk of Dino, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and all those dudes, and Romario. But for Neymar, as we've seen, I don't think he'd care, because I don't think Neymar is that bothered in trying to prove himself, and even more so because people always say that is Neymar really going to retire having never won the Ballon d'Or? Even beyond that, is he really going to retire having never been, at least for 1 year, for one season, being the undisputed best player in the world? If that was to happen, wow, that's sad. Like, that's sad. Because if he had told me that kid we saw at Santos, that kid we saw in the 2014 World Cup would never for at least 1 year be the best player in the world, I'd have said, shut up. But we'll see what happens when his contract runs out. But if I was a betting man, just looking at how he moved to PSG against his father's wishes, who he wanted him to stay at Barcelona. If I was a betting man, I would put money down that I don't own that Neymar is in the MLS and plays for either an Inter Miami or an LA Galaxy. Now, what would make a difference is if he moves after having winning the World Cup, it may soften the blow. But if he moves to MLS and still doesn't have a World Cup on his resume,